Hey, you're finally awake. We just crossed the border. I've heard strange things have been happening since I was away. Even so, it's good to be back home. Back in Skyrim.
Whatever Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host were planning, I think the worst is behind us as far as Western Skyrim is concerned. With Svargrim dead, their grip on the holds comes to an end.
Are you in charge of Solitude now?
Not officially. At least I don't think so. I feel like the whole world's crumbling around me. But the city's still standing, so that's something. I'm more worried about our friends. We left Lyris and Fenn to hold off a horde of harrow fiends.
I almost forgot about that.
Hopefully they were able to hold the courtyard and keep those monsters out of the city. You go on ahead and check on them. I need to collect myself. Solitude needs Princess Svana now. And I'm not quite ready to be her.
I'll go find Lyris and Fenn.
Thank you. Help them and anyone else as best you can. I'll do the same. Once you're done with them, I'll find you and we can figure out what to do next.
Do you think the danger has passed?
Gods, I hope so. Haven't we dealt with enough already? I need to see what happened firsthand. All the suffering and pain my father caused. I can't undo it, but I can make amends. Or at least try to.
Tell me truthfully, Lyris. How much of this blood is mine?
Not enough to be worried about. So, is it over? What happened to Svargrim? And where's Svana?
Svargrim's dead and Svana's fine, but she needs a moment. She asked me to check on you.
A parent's betrayal cuts deeper than a sword. But Svana's strong. Stronger than she's been given credit for. And Solitude's going to need that strength in the coming days.
Do you think she can handle it?
If you told me the tavern rat we met at the Lonely Troll would become my choice to lead this land, I'd have called you mad. Then again, my king's a skald, so what do I know? Come on, there's probably something productive we should be doing.
What do you have in mind?
Last I heard, Sword Thane Uthlet was gathering everyone he could at the Hall of the Dead. Head over there and see how they weathered the harrowstorm. I'll take care of securing Castle Dower. As for Fenn, you might remind him we need a lot of elixir.
What happened with the horde of harrow fiends?
We did our best to hold the harrow fiends inside Castle Dower, but nothing short of stone walls were going to keep those monsters from pushing through. It seemed like everyone I killed was replaced by 2 more.
How'd you stop them?
Almost didn't. We were nearly overrun before Fenn went wild. I've never seen him like that, snarling and showing what a true vampire can do. Took the harrow fiends by surprise and we routed them. I did have to thwack him to clear his head, though.
You did it. I shouldn't be surprised. But things were looking rather bleak before the clouds parted.
What happened with the horde of harrow fiends?
We held the gate as long as we could. The harrow fiends were a flood of claws and teeth. Once they burst through, Lyris cleaved through them like a scythe through wheat. But even she couldn't stem the tide.
So what happened?
I'm not really sure. It kind of went wild. Let out my inner beast, as it were. I was rending and slashing. Then Lyris whacked me with the flat of her blade. At least that's the last thing I remember. Not my finest hour, but we survived.
So what now?
The Sword Thane gathered people in the Hall of the Dead. Go check on them while I pull myself together. This whole ordeal has been a lot more strenuous than I'm accustomed to. Then I'll get to work on the elixir and a cure for the Herod.
What about the Hierophines?
Sadly, I don't think there's any hope for them. Their life energy was sucked dry, turning them into feral beasts. Restoring them is beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid. At least with the Herod, they're not so far gone as to be a lost cause.
And will the elixir protect everyone else?
As soon as we produce enough of it, yes. We saw how it protected Svana. Now, where did I put my flask?
Like nothing happened. Just a regular day in Solitude. Where is the Hall of the Dead? It is over there.
What do you want?
Oh my god, I just saved your damn city.
Another day, another.
I want riches and gold and a parade.
Have no fears of witchery of the reach.
Ha! Good to see you aren't raising mugs with Ismir just yet. We saw the storm break, but we heard nothing since you departed from Blackreach. I regret we didn't throw a parade to welcome you back, but I'll cheer enough for 100 souls if you tell me you put that backbiter of a High King to the sword. But what of Svana? Is she?
She's alive, but I can't say the same for the High King. And speaking of that parade, I was just thinking that. Were you reading my mind?
That's good, but a daughter shouldn't have to kill her own father. Svana has my support, for whatever that's worth. She's going to need all the help she can get in the days to come.
So does that mean Svana's the queen now?
Not until we hold a moot to support her claim, and we need more than a single Jarl for that to occur. If Svana proves herself as the acting Jarl, they might look past her father's failings and make her the queen, eventually.
I think she's proven capable so far.
We can settle the matter of the crown when there's kingdom enough to rule. What remains of the holds are still ravaged by the harrowstorms, and I doubt we've seen the last of the Grey Host, for that matter.
Any word from your hold?
None good, but none bad either. My wife knows better than anyone how to care for our people. I trust she and my Thane to protect and care for Morthal in my absence.
We seem to have survived, thank the gods. I thought for certain we were all about to witness the end of the world.
It looks like Solitude weathered the storm.
No thanks to Svargrim, damn his eyes. After you and the princess went off to Blackreach, I gathered whoever we could, and made our stand here in the Hall of the Dead. I'm just glad we don't have to be permanent residents.
So, no major casualties?
Far fewer than I feared when the storm began. Thanks to you and the princess. With the storm over and the Grey Host driven from Castle Dower, my soldiers will get the city back into shape. As long as no one else attacks us in the meantime.
I'll leave you to it then.
They're here! They're at the gates!
The Grey Host? I thought we were done with them for now.
Not the Grey Host! The Skald King with an army from the east!
What treachery is this?
To the gates. We'll give the Skald King a proper welcome. One way.
You're in! The Skald King is here! Somebody call Lyris!
Daedra opened a portal at Moonhenge, and some hero collapsed it single-handedly.
Stand down, you idiots! We come in peace.
Partner, Could really use your knack for diplomacy right now. Speak to the Skull King before we start a war.
Sure, save me from fools and prophets. Will no one properly greet a weary traveler?
I know that there's little love between East and West, but now's not the time to be picking a fight.
What are you and the Skull King Yoren doing here?
Lyris's report on the rise of Greyhost had my father preparing for the worst. When we hadn't received word for some time, he decided to intercede.
If we hadn't stopped Svargrim, that might have been necessary.
Svargrim. It's hard to believe the rumors were true. I didn't know him well, but I can't understand how anyone could throw away everything for the promise of power. What's immortality worth if there's nothing you hold dear?
Will your father attempt to take Svargrim's place here?
You'd have to ask him. As far as I can tell, the Western holds are in chaos. They could use a king who cares for his fellow Nords, but if the welcome we've received here is any indication, Solitude won't see it that way.
I'll speak to King Yoren.
Oh, familiar face. Maybe you can talk some sense into these Western milk drinkers. We're not a damn invasion. We're here to help. Do you know what's going on?
The Grey Host was behind the attacks on Western Skyrim. Hiking Svargrim, well, we had to kill him.
So the rumors are true? Svargrim joined the Grey Host? I knew he had ambitions, but to throw away his humanity like that, it's inconceivable. Svargrim once told me that he would die before welcoming me to Solitude. I suppose he was right.
The Grey Host caused a lot of damage. These people could use your help.
That's why I sent Lyris here in the first place. I'm not the king of these holds, though. I can't do anything if they refuse my help. Svargrim despised me. He would never accept my aid. But Svana... here she comes now. Let's see what she has to say.
Whatever you think, King Yoren.
We have no need of help that involves welcoming your soldiers within our walls.
My walls, Jarl. My father may have been willing to slap aside a helping hand, but I'm not. Permit me a word with your envoy, Skald King.
Maybe
I want to talk to you.
Thank you for holding the line, I mean. I'm ready to do what I should have done a long time ago. To do what my father never could. I'll speak with the Skald King. There's one more thing I'd like you to do while I entertain our guests.
What do you need?
We saved Solitude, but our war with the Grey Host is far from over. We need Fenn's elixir more than ever. With that, and King Yoren's help, we might just push these monsters back into their grave for good. Check on Fenn's progress, please.
Anything else?
That depends on Fenn. If there's anything standing in his way, let me know. And I'll do everything in my power to get him what he needs.
I'll go speak with Fenn.
Fenn is with Old Mjolnir at the Mages Guild. When you're finished with him, join me in the courtyard of the Blue Palace. I'm going to hold a moment of remembrance for this city. We all need a moment to mourn what we lost.
What about your guests?
I'm going to invite the Skald King to join us. If the people of Solitude see him bow his head along with the rest of us, they may not care about the divide between the East and West.
Smart lady. She a smart lady. Gonna get on the ride, make it faster to the Mages Guild. I mean, it ain't far or anything, it's just... They just make it faster. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. This major scale is tiny. Where would he be? This way, I think. Yeah, I think... Is he downstairs?
Ingenious. A rare thing to find an elf with the makings of a clever woman.
Despite what my kin might proclaim, it's not all in the blood. Ah, good, you're here. We've made a breakthrough. I was just discussing a theory with Mjolnir, and it seems like we're very close to turning this elixir into a true restorative.
Meaning what?
A cure. Singolis's research on the Netherroot showed me just how it weakens the connection between a body and soul. Thus far I've been able to inure a person to the root, but now I'm certain I can use that knowledge to heal those weakened bonds.
How quickly can you produce this cure?
Well, it is just a theory at this point. There's a lot more testing and experimentation to be done before we can produce a viable antidote. Weeks, optimistically?
Svana needs your elixir now. She asked me to make sure everything is going smoothly.
I know. We can't simply put things on hold. Mjolnir and I have a batch brewing right now, and materials to keep producing for another day. Ingert's promised us a steady supply of Arcase oil, but that's not our limiting factor.
What's the problem?
We know enough about Singolis's refinement processes to replicate his methods, but we still need a source of Netherroot to do so. Tell Svana that if she can keep us supplied, we can produce enough elixir for all the holds in a matter of weeks.
Any ideas on where we can get more Netherroot?
We can ransack Greyhost stockpiles, or mount an expedition into Blackridge. Otherwise, it would take decades of work to produce a proper crop. After we get the elixir squared away, we'll turn our attention to curing the Herod.
Did Singolis's notes tell you more about the Grey Reliquaries and the Stone Husks?
Indeed. As I surmised, the Grey Reliquaries contained the remains of ancient Greyhost warriors. They served as a connection to the souls trapped in Cold Harbor. Using the energy from the harrowstorms, the souls were pulled into the Stone Husks.
And what was the purpose of the Stone Husks?
I believe the Stone Husks are incubators of a sort. The physical forms of the Greyhost are reincorporated within the stone vessels, through a mix of Singolis's alchemy and sorcery, and the magic of the Ice Reach witches. When whole, they burst free.
Interesting. Well, gotta go to the courtyard, Fen. See ya. Okay, now I gotta make my way out of this tiny little place.
What is it?
Hey! You're gonna show me some respect. I saved this city, lady.
I was hoping you'd return before we began. Tell me you've got good news. I'll feel a lot better delivering a speech about healing and hope, knowing that we're on the road to recovery. What did Fen have to say about the elixir?
They're making it as we speak, but he says they'll need more Netherroot soon.
Not the best news, but I'll take it. So long as we have enough to protect our soldiers, we have a fighting chance against the Grey Host. I'll go to the Undergrove myself if that's what it takes.
Fen also believes he can make a cure for the Harrowed.
Now that would be cause for celebration. If he can really bring back even a fraction of those we lost to the harrowstorms, I'm willing to try. That's all I needed to hear. We should begin the ceremony before the crowd grows more restless.
What do you have planned?
Nothing fancy. Just a traditional Nord wake. To mourn and celebrate those we've lost, and cherish the lives we still have. I'd like you to join us.
Very well.
None of us would be here to sing dirges for the dead or celebrate the living if not for you. I certainly wouldn't be here, ready to lead my hold. You've supported me since I started down this path. I'm honored to have you here at the end.
Thank you. I'm honored too, Svana.
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, we have the honor today of remembering the dead.
Honor to the fallen!
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, our trials were fierce, but we are still here.
We stand and we remain!
Now, we raise our voices to tell Sovngarde of the coming of the worthy dead, and to tell the world that the Nords are still here! We are still standing!
The fallen now march home to hallowed hall, to join our ancestors in boundless drink and song and brawls. Let sound the horns, let peal the bells, let loose the ancient hymn. We will remain until time ends, we children of Skyrim.
Well, that's it, folks. That's the story of Greymoor, but not quite the end of this series. There are still some other side quests I'd like to do and go through some of the dells and the public dungeons, and then the Dark Heart of Skyrim story continues in Markarth. So our adventure in Western Skyrim is far from over. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to check out my video, and of course, if you enjoyed it, smash that thumbs up for me and feel free to leave a comment. Be safe, be well, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!